Hey guys, Mike here. We watched a movie. Jay's not here, but he will be for the spoiler review, which we're going to flip this shit on its head. We're going to do the spoiler review as a podcast and film it and put that part on YouTube too. So the first podcast back will be filming today. That should be up sometime this weekend. This is one of those movies that when you go see it, it's already dragging in this huge expectations behind it. Kind of like Will Smith walking in Independence Day. It's just got this big fat parachute of expectations that walk with it, and it's one of those movies you really got to get yourself in the right mindset for. When you sit down in the theater, you got to pretend that you don't know who the hell directed this movie, you don't know anything about this movie, and you got to try to let your expectations and all the weight of shit just go and try to just be able to throw popcorn at your face and be able to judge something for what you're watching, not for who's doing it. For me, I'm not a Nolanite, but I do respect the guy. I love the Dark Knight trilogy, and I love Christopher Nolan simply for the fact that he brought Batman back from the death grips of Joel Schumacher. You have to love a guy for doing that. That being said, I'm one of the first people to point out all the little inconsistencies and continuation issues sometimes with the Dark Knight series. Even though I love those movies, they're amazing films, but there are little plot holes and stuff that linger around for me. Autopilot. But still yet, they're amazing, and I respect him for what he did. At the same time, I'm the only person on planet Earth that could not get into Inception. I just couldn't do it. I'm wrong. You guys are right. The world's right. Everybody fucking loves that movie, and I hated it. I cannot watch it. I cannot get into it. I can't relate to it. Doesn't do it for me. But again, I admit that I must be wrong. That's just a me thing, dude. That ain't you. But that's my relationship with Christopher Nolan pretty much. So Interception is a great football movie. I hope I haven't said that already like 5 times. Inception, fuck me in the ass. Why do you start your movies with I's? Don't start 2 movies with I's that have like the exact same amount of syllables. Inception, Interstellar. Fuck me, I'm wrong again. On to the actual movie Interstellar. What it's about is, it's ambitious as fuck. So I can only give a part of the plot because so much of it I can't tell you because it's a spoiler, because shit just goes cray-cray in this movie. But basically, we're in this close to a post-apocalyptic future. We're not there yet, but it's into the future. Everything's changed. The dirt's turned on us. The crops aren't cropping like they're supposed to anymore, and one of the only things we have left is corn, and that's dwindling by the second. So really smart people, NASA fucking pilots, like Matthew McConaughey's character Coop, turn to farmers, and everything's different. The school system works differently. New York doesn't look like New York anymore. It looks like a Dungy hot dog stand in the back of a flea market. It's just everything's dusty. There's these dust storms that come and cover everything in muck and grime. The Yankees look like they're playing in a middle school baseball field. Everything pretty much sucks and is getting suckier, but we are surviving. Matthew McConaughey's character Coop has this great little family, and one day this strange, random ass turn of events leads him to Michael Caine, who is Professor Brant in the movie, who says, hey, the world's getting ready to end and you're the guy that we need to fly the spaceship. Spaceship! Through a wormhole into another galaxy to find us another place to live on, because the band Korn just won't play for us anymore. So he wants Matthew McConaughey to leave his family and everything he knows behind to go on this voyage through a wormhole to find the Earth, another planet that we can all go to and inhabitate because ours is going to shit. His special effects in this movie are absolutely amazing. Seriously, you're going to want to go see this movie in one of those RPX, DTX, FMW theaters that have the comfy seats and have the huge ass screens that you have to pay like an extra $5 for or whatever, because this movie, literally the sound, when shit goes crazy, the sound you can actually feel on your legs. You can feel like the legs when your hair stand up, everything kind of rumbles a little bit and it's intense. The sound's amazing, the effects are amazing, and they're so atmospheric and nightmarish at times. It's really intense, it's really immersive. You feel like you're in it, you feel like you're watching it yourself. I felt like a little kid the first time I looked through a kaleidoscope. The emotions in this movie too. There's a scene, and being a dad, this bothered me more. I may or may not have found myself, like I tend to do sometimes, crying like a little bitch in the theater. When he has to leave his family and his daughter behind, and he can't really even say why for the most part, it's really heartbreaking. But at the same time, it felt like it was kind of rushed. Like I felt like we needed a little bit more dialogue between them. I needed a little bit more to happen there. And when this movie is as ass-numbingly long as it is, you really don't expect to be shortchanged on things like that. So that kind of did fly by. That was kind of a bummer, and a couple other points did too. And that comes to my one problem really with this movie, is that the pacing of the movie. Half the shit didn't need to be in it. There's so much stuff that is unnecessary in this movie. Mainly one of Matthew McConaughey's main family members that you would think looking at the movie plays a really important part, but then you go, and I like the guys, I like both the actors that played this guy, but when you go back and you think about the movie after you watch it and you take that character out of the movie, you think, wow, it could have ended the exact same way. You could have cut 25 minutes off and that character out of the movie and it would not have made a difference to the final movie. That character didn't need to exist. There's a couple of cameos, a couple of big name actors I didn't even know were in this movie that add something to it, have some really cool parts in it. You'll be excited to see them. But there's also scenes in this movie and like, Nolan's mind just goes on trips sometimes for a couple minutes and it's like, you could have cut that shit out. And this movie could have been an hour shorter and it would have been way more enjoyable. And that's my only gripe with the movie, is it just goes off into its own head sometimes and it needs to really just get out of it. You get to where it's going, but sometimes this movie's just like, ADD. McConaughey seriously sold his soul to the acting gods. Every time I see this guy in a movie nowadays, he blows me the fuck away. He's amazing in this. I know he's Matthew McConaughey, I've seen him a million times, but he's so good in this movie that when he's upset about his family or he's upset about the situation, I'm thinking, that's Coop. I'm not thinking that's the dude I just watched in a fucking Lincoln commercial the other day. Hathaway's really good as well, but her character will make you want to just do the same thing you want to do to Kate in Lost. Just kick her off the fucking island. And Michael Caine he's Michael fucking Caine. So, I mean, he's still Michael fucking Caine. But the supporting roles really surprised me. Like the little tiny people, like, you might not even know their names. They did a really good job, especially the people who were in space with Matthew McConaughey. Seriously, someone put John Lithgow in more shit. And another thing that didn't bother me that might bother you is where the story goes. That you're gonna have to suspend belief to watch this movie. I don't know what it is, if it's the Nolan movie or if it's because it's a sci-fi movie, but it was freaking hipster night at the movies last night. The whole theater smelled like leather and irony. I saw one guy literally walk past me with Wolverine's exact hair, rimmed glasses, a flannel t-shirt, and fuck me boots. I swear to God. And I go to take a piss and I hear these two guys talking and they're like, that movie had so many scientific flaws, it was ridiculous. That's fine if you want to do that. I mean, I can't diss anybody for doing that. Me, I'm happy that I'm a dumbass who doesn't understand that half that movie was probably total bullshit and could never happen. I realized that on my own without bringing out my science book, but I'm just saying, like, some of the theories and stuff go a little bit overboard and are a little bit heady, like Nolan films can tend to be sometimes, but it's a fucking movie. If I can enjoy Starship Troopers, I can enjoy this movie about saving the world. It doesn't all have to fit. I didn't expect for Christopher Nolan to change my fucking life with this movie. I just expected it to be a really, really well-made movie, and I got that. So if you can go to the theater and you can suspend belief and you can suspend all the hype, then you'll end up really enjoying this movie. I mean, seriously, the special effects of this movie are fuck my face awesome, and the story and the ideas and the concept behind it, I give them total credit for swinging for the freaking fences. There's a couple points in this movie where I actually had my hand on my face and I was like, oh shit, they really went there. This is deep as hell. So just try to suspend belief. Try not to sit there and pick it apart too much in your own head, and you'll have fun watching Interstellar, even though it's way too fucking long. I give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie, and I think you will too, so definitely check it out, and definitely check out one of those fancy fucking theaters I was talking about. What's your favorite sci-fi movie that blew your mind more than any movie before it? Comment below, let me know, and check us out later for our spoiler review. Click that subscribe button, like us on Facebook, find us on Twitter at We Watch the Movie. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.